So, this fool thinks he can foil my plans by reviewing fanfictions in a good way? Bah! Don't make me laugh. My chillers will destroy him easily, and then I will be able to finish off the fanfiction industry, and thus everyone will have to deal with crappy real-life shows and video games, so that I may take over the world!
Of course!
Oh, shut up, Bryce. You're not funny for doing that. Anyways, where was I? Boasting, monologue. Oh yes, now I have to do the evil laugh. Brilliant!
You're still new at this, aren't you, sir?
Oh, who asked you, Sickle? Don't mess with my evil routine again, or else I'll put you on ice like the last chiller who questioned me.
Yes, sir. I apologize, sir.
Now, we just sit back and watch, and soon it shall be our time to strike.
Yes, sir.
Huh. Ain't that convenient. Never expected to get the dowsing machine this soon. Well, should have guessed. I saw someone else do it, so... And now we got a battle. Here we go. Oh yeah, this is good. What the? What's that? Oh. That's my phone. How did he get on there? Moshi Moshi.
Sup, Baba?
Oh, hey Pika. I was just about to finish another Tomodachi vlog in a bit and start up with the first episode of the One Shot Zone.
Alright. Is it okay if I also comment on the fic being reviewed?
Yeah, sure. If you want, you can even be a guest star on the video. You cool with that?
Sure. So tell me, what's the fic being reviewed?
It's Toon Powered Up. You cool with that?
Oh, my 50th fic special. Sure.
Okay, good to know. But, I have one question to ask you before we begin.
What is it?
Why are we on the phone?
Don't know.
Let's hang up so we can get started. So, with that, welcome, minasan, to the One Shot Zone. Whoa! Hey, what did I tell you about getting into the gun vault? Jeez. Should have seen that coming. Konnichiwa, minasan, and welcome! I am your host, KKD Shiraba, the crossover king from fanfiction, and today we're reviewing the first of many one-shots for the One Shot Zone.
One of my fanfics. I'm Pikatwig, also called Pikatwig16.
Now, if it isn't obvious, I'm a fan of video games. I like the franchises in general and what they can create. And today, we're looking at one such franchise for this fanfiction. Mega Man! Originally released in Japan as Rockman in 1989, Mega Man became one of Capcom's most iconic characters, alongside the likes of Ryu and Akuma from Street Fighter, and Morgan and Felicia of Darkstalkers. Since then, Mega Man has spawned a ton of sequels and spin-offs, and is even going to appear in a new Smash Bros. Title for the Wii U and the 3DS.
In the year of 2006, the original game was re-released for the PlayStation Portable with the title Mega Man Powered Up. The reimagining of the original was a bit more of a story and actually having the normal 8 Robot Masters per game by adding in 2 new ones, Time Man and Oil Man, and the ability to play as all the Robot Masters, provided that you just beat them with the Mega Buster, and even Rock Ruler, Brother and Proto Man and Your Sister Roll are playable.
Now, if the name I stated earlier wasn't clear, this story is obviously based off this particular installment in the Mega Man franchise, but its main focus is an OC, whom I mentioned on my backup channel. Here to explain to the audience, Pika?
IOC character. Serial number DBN081, continuing from Mega Man 10 with DWN080. Oh, Sugar Woman, or better known as Toon Blair.
Pretty cool appearance. Does she happen to be based off another character from another franchise?
Yes, in fact. She's based off Penelope from Wreck-It Ralph in terms of appearance, and does have a bit of her sass. And for comparison,
And with that, we have our protagonist for this fanfiction we're reviewing today. The one shot known only as Toon Powered Up!
with my 50th story fast approaching, I wanted to do something special. And I figured, why not give one of my OCs a spotlight? So I began to think of what to type. And then I saw a story with Quake Woman from the Mega Man Archie comics in a powered up retelling. So I went with something like that.
And so, with this containing 5,381 words, this story was published to Pika's profile on fanfiction on December 11th last year in order to celebrate this momentous milestone. Congrats to you on that, Pika. And here's to another 50 more stories from you.
Aw, thanks, Abo.
No problem. Also, if you have kids, this is an okay thing to show some of them folks, seeing this is rated K+. For those of you who don't understand that rating, look to Kingdom Hearts 2 and its E10 and up rating. It's good for most audiences, but those at a certain age must be supervised by someone older. Since there wasn't much in terms of background, why don't we go to the next segment? So, with this being a retelling, it's not too original, unfortunately. You see, this is a retelling of a remake, so the overall plot seems basic at best.
It's fine. I'm not exactly original. Anyway, Toon Helping Rock here makes a bit less sense given how they first used after Super Adventure Rockman and Mega Man 5.
Pika, I'm trying to make this review for the more casual audience. Most won't even know what you're talking about unless they played the games you just mentioned.
Oh, you heard me? I was talking to myself.
Right. But I suppose I should explain this to the audience. The original Mega Man was released on the Famicom in Japan, which is the original NES we know from the States. And as most NES games go, the plot is very generic. And they only had 6 Robot Masters, seeing Roll and Rock were the first 2 in the line. That's why Time Man and Oil Man were added in the remake. Speaking of the remake, known as Powered Up, while it expands the levels and gives them more detail with a slight hint of a plot, what plot is known is very scarce. So, make do with what you got. And in Pika's case, all he had to do was hold off Rock becoming Mega Man so he could show off Toon as Sugar Woman, along with her powers in the story, and the interactions between her and the official characters of the Mega Man universe. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it does.
Just making sure. So, originality is lacking. But Pika does make up for it by providing much more personality and character to the Robot Masters from the games. True, they have personalities in their own right, but let's face it, how many of you remember anything significant about their personalities from the games?
Fireman is hot-headed and has a southern accent like...
Well, that's one tidbit, but for the most part, the quirks were left unnoticed. So, Pika decided to take advantage of a lot of these quirks, develop more personality to them, and make them more believable characters to work with.
And while not exactly original, but original for the story, I did manage to fit in an appearance of fan favorite Bass, who was surprisingly nowhere to be found in Powered Up.
Well, from my understanding, Bass, or Bass, how you pronounce it, was most likely under construction in the original games and wasn't able to come into play until, what game did he first appear in?
Then Mega Man 7 appeared in Mega Man 8, became playable in Mega Man Bass, was nowhere to be found in Mega Man 9, and DLC in Mega Man 10. He was playable in a few spin-offs, but this is the main series we're talking about.
And suddenly we had Larry the Cable Guy in the building. But, point taken. To be honest, I kind of forgot about Bass, seeing as he doesn't appear until Toon gets to Dr. Wily's castle. Wait. Correction. He appeared after Toon beat Bomb Man, but he had so few appearances until Wily's castle, that's kind of why I forgot. Aside from those minor changes, Pika keeps all the more developed characters very true to their original personas. Mega Man's a pacifist until he wants to save others. Proto Man's his mysterious self, only helping when he sees fit. Dr. Light being, well, there to be a mentor figure and the one who knows how to work the tech. And Roll being, she has such a minor role in the games, I don't even recall what her personality is like.
Supportive, kind, caring, but fierce to sum it up. She was going to be playable in Mega Man 2, but they didn't know how to make it multiplayer and thought having a girl be playable would turn some fans off.
Figures they'd think that. They were still dipping their feet into video game waters at the time. Regardless, Toon Powered Up was an interesting take on the original game, with these quirks included. Not to mention the romance that buds between Toon and Mega Man.
I was honestly thinking of what to do that would make Toon interesting. And I thought making her Rock's love interest would be a good fit.
And as such, she's his love interest in every fanfiction she's in. Yeah, we'll get to that sometime in the future, trust me. So, with that, it's time for my hit and misses for this story. Brace yourself, Pika.
Alright.
Giving notable and memorable personalities to the Robot Masters. Remember when I said they weren't given much of a personality in the original game? Well, remember, those were the NES days in which there were a lot of limitations to work around in order to make a good game and work in a good story. Powered Up had the advantage of better tech to show you those both together, but people still mainly remember the Robot Masters for their boss fights. Here, in Toon Powered Up, you can at least recall more quirks about them, like Oilman being a jive talker, Iceman having his own crush on Roll, and Elec Man knowing French, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, I really tried to keep them in with the powered up personalities.
First Miss doesn't have to do with the story itself as much as it has to do with the format that it is in. This could be a hit or miss situation when it comes to stories, but this one is written in script format. For those of you who have no clue on what that is, let me explain. Most material are written in letter or novel formats, in which is how most people read stories to begin with. However, script format strictly splits up the action from the dialogue, and it shows the speaking character's name before every line they say. This breaks up the flow of the story and may ruin the experience for some. It may be easier to write at times, but it's not exactly the best format to read. Sorry, Pika.
It's cool. Oh, that version of Powered Up with Quake Room in it. We'll use that format as well. Plus, this is a special effect, so I thought it'd be a good idea to do it differently. But don't worry. What was going to be my 70th fic isn't like that.
Whew. That's good. The usage of French. Pardon my accent. Most stories I'll review don't often mix languages together, probably because most people wouldn't know how to spell the words they're looking for themselves. However, here, Elec Man, as stated earlier, speaks French fluently in this verse, and Toon herself was built by a French scientist, making French one of her main languages, and to see Pika actually use it was pretty nice. Not to mention, Mega Man himself learned French from Elec Man quickly to help Toon out of a tight jam. Kudos there, Pika.
Thank you, or merci. In fact, I'm taking French this school year.
Good to know. Hope you enjoy it better than I did Spanish. Can never retain too much from those classes anyways. Unfortunately, this story felt a bit rushed to get in for the 50th story before Pika could post any newer ones. So sadly, this story is riddled with spelling errors. The upside is that there aren't too many, but if you're reading it, it'll stick out like a sore thumb.
Really? Huh. I never noticed. Then again, I did work on this story mostly on my phone. I'd say I did about 49% on my laptop, and the other 51% on my phone.
Yeah, autocorrect can be a real pain as it may correct things you know are correct already. Just the very idea of this being a retelling alongside the romance for the story. Now, retellings are sometimes a good way to introduce fans of one franchise to another, and is a very clever method for crossovers. However, this story is strictly Mega Man. As such, the retelling seems a bit overdone, and some may tire of it rather quickly unless they have no prior knowledge of Mega Man in any way, shape, or form. The romance, however, is one of the more unique twists that may or may not get some people irked. This is Pika's fic, so he can pair whoever he wants to pair. But I can't picture some fans who read this beginning to bash on him for pairing Mega Man with an OC, and some who might find it adorable. It's not much to make mention for both aspects, but hey, that's what the neutral point's for.
Yeah, it is sweet. I'm a bit of a sucker for a good romance, truth be told. Anyway, prior to this, I was planning another fic, and I wanted there to be a romantic interest for Rock, and since I'm sticking purely to the classic series, and there are only two girls, being Roll and DLN-067 Splash Woman from Mega Man 9, I had to make an OC.
Point taken. Anyway, here's the point where I make my final analysis about the fanfic I just reviewed with the hit and miss points taken into account.
Alright, let's see what your score for my 50th fic is.
Final analysis? I'd have to give this a C+. It's okay for the most part, and is a nice retelling, but with some fine-tuning, no pun intended, it could be something spectacular.
Alright, that's a good rating, and I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, again, it could have been better, and it's a nice retelling for those who don't want to play the game it's based on. But when errors there are, they are painfully obvious, not to mention the squirt format they turn off some people right away. If you're interested in checking out Mega Man for the first time, go ahead and have a watch. I'm sure it'll pique your interest further. If not, for fresh Mega Man fanfic, I suggest you skip this unless you want to see it in camera.
I'm really glad this was a review and I could be here for it. Thus, I'm gonna sign off. Just live more.
Whew. It took a while to get that one out. Now I can settle down and prepare for the next fanfic review. Huh? Who could that be? Seriously, who could have rung the doorbell at a time like this? Huh? Oh hey, somebody left a package. And it's left open on the porch. Weird. Guess I better just take this in and see what it is. Seriously, who could have sent this? I don't remember ordering anything recently. I wonder what it could be.